Hi, I'm Paul Schaefer,
I'm Will Lee.
and you are watching the Letterman Podcast.
Welcome once again to the Letterman Podcast. My name is Mike Chisholm. All right. You never forget your first, especially when your first is Darin Cox. Darin Cox, good friend of the show, our very first guest, host of the Irritable Dad Syndrome podcast, which has just celebrated its 5th anniversary. And the 5th anniversary clip episode they just released is a banger. It's the best of stuff that happened this past year. I highly recommend it. Darin's such a great guy. He and Mike are doing such a good job with Irritable Dad Syndrome. It's very, very entertaining. Highly recommend the subscription. Yeah, he comes back on the show here. He just went on a field trip for work to the Broadcast Museum in Chicago, where they have for the next year and a bit a wing or a section dedicated to Johnny Carson, who would have turned 100 this past week, and all of late night, the evolution of late night television. And you know, for any of us who love this stuff, Darin's you know, his declaration is that we've all got to go and see it. It's all worth it. You know, we could spend hours there. There's so much good stuff there. So we talk about that and a few other things. We talk about what's going on in late night as a genre right now. We bring up some Letterman memories, of course. And it's just great to catch up. I love these episodes so much with the people in our community. We talk about Warren Zevon, a whole bunch of other things. I'm just really, really excited to welcome back our good friend Darin Cox. Oh, I'm so happy to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing really good.
This is so good. This is so good. We got lots of good stuff to talk about. And I can't wait to go into all of it. But I wanna start by talking about Irritable Dad Syndrome just celebrated their 5-year anniversary.
That's right. We did. Thank you so much for bringing that up. When 5 years ago, when Mike Odell reached out and asked if I wanted to do this podcast, I without hesitation said absolutely, because Mike and I we're brothers from different mothers,
Yeah.
and this is a testament to the question, don't you guys ever run out of things to talk about? 5 years later, we still haven't run out of things to talk about.
Yep.
Okay, and we released our best of volume 5, and it was our longest best of episode ever. We were trying to cut stuff down, and then we just eventually said, you know what, just put it in there. It's a 3-hour long best of special.
Okay, I gotta ask a question about this because I need clarification, because is it a best of? Okay, so yeah, obviously if we're going the best of the entire series, every year it'll be easier to make a clip episode. This is the best of just year 5, correct?
Just year 5.
Okay, that's crazy to me, because I'll tell you this, and I gotta ask if this goes back to a conversation you and I had. I could not believe that the Carl story, the Bob/Carl story, appeared in year 5. But then I thought about that, because that story is fantastic. That story is me. I was that guy when I worked in a place with a lot of people. Like that story, I love that story. And please, everybody, go and listen to the Irritable. If you ever wanted to find a place to start the Irritable Dad Syndrome podcast, the 5-year anniversary special is really good, because they're serving nothing but homers. They're so good. But
You know what? You have been more supportive than most people I know. Seriously. I mean, you know, Mike and I, we have our family, of course, our wives and our kids, and my mom's a big fan of the show, and we have Patreons. We have patrons. We've got the 3 Chris's who have kept us afloat. I mean, you have Rupert G. We have Chris Hughes and Chris Calloway, who are our biggest supporters. We have a handful of others, but the 3 Chris's keep us afloat, really. Yes. But you have been so supportive, and I really can't thank you enough for the kind words that you have said about the podcast over the years. But we're very proud of it, and we've said as long as we enjoy it, we're going to keep doing it. We haven't gotten tired of each other yet, and it's just a lot of fun. And then the episode that comes out after our 5-year anniversary special, it's another banger. It's one of those, how have you guys not run out of things to talk about? We don't run out of things to talk about. We just keep finding things to talk about.
I think that's the point of why podcasting has become as big as it has. The art of conversation is,
Yeah,
it basically, as long as there's a new day happening, there's some new things to talk about, and that
yeah,
new day will be compared and contrasted with the old days, and then we can compare and
exactly,
contrast that and go from there. You're wearing a Soundgarden t-shirt, but great choice of apparel, by the
exactly.
way, today,
Well, thank
including the
you.
beanie, as you mentioned off camera. I haven't seen your pants yet, but I would bet pretty good. Soundgarden, talking about there's some sort of a Soundgarden presentation, a tour of some sort coming forward. How do you do that without Chris Cornell? You and I could go for 20 minutes on that, even
Yeah,
if we've known each other for 20 something years. And I
yeah,
think that's conversation and human connection, is such a, it's something that people love and gravitate towards. Your
yeah.
podcast with Mike, fantastic conversation, but then you take a look, comparing, there is no comparison between this show and your show. I mean, I hit record and like a monkey try and get it all onto one thing. This show is so well produced. I'm halfway through your show. Yeah, T-Rex arms. I can do it. I can do it. I'm halfway through your show, and I had to send you a text going, "God damn, you produced this thing is so well produced. It like you, the sound effects, the commercials, all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's so good." But to go back to the Carl story,
Uh-huh.
I have a memory that I've either implanted out of imagination, or
Hmm.
this actually happened. I
Right.
feel like you told me the Carl story, and I'm like, okay, so at what point did you tell this story on the podcast? And you were like, I've never told it on the podcast. And so then you guys went and told it on the podcast. Did that
Hmm.
happen, or is that something that I'm, because I heard the Carl story. You definitely told me the Carl story.
I've told you the Carl story
You told
before.
me the Carl story before I heard it on the show. Absolutely. We talked about it.
Honest to God, see, I'm 55,
Yeah, yeah.
and over the past 7 or 8 years, I've really gotten to that point where I'll tell somebody something, and the next day I'll be talking to them, and I'll tell them the story again. I've turned
Sure.
into my father
Yeah.
very, very, very prematurely, because my father told me at least 6 times that when he was in the army, he
Uh-huh.
thinks that he saw Bob Dylan. Did I ever tell you about that? Yeah, Dad, you were in a bar in California. I was in a bar in California, and I walked in, and there was this guy, and he was playing guitar in the corner. And yeah, he was playing this guitar in the corner, and he was singing. And I think that was Bob. Yes, Dad, you think you saw Bob? Yeah, Dad told me, I don't know how many times, that he's pretty sure he saw Bob Dylan when he was in the army. And I do that. So if I probably did tell you the Carl story, because I'm one of those guys, I can't shut up.
I know, but the thing is, the Carl story is so good
Mhm.
that, and I mean, relatable to a lot of people who love Letterman. Like that is that's a Letterman thing to do to the nth degree, to the point of when, and I don't want to spoil the story, but when Carl, yes, removes himself from your situation and puts himself in another situation, you caused it to follow. And that to me is like, it's such a good story. And so that my question is, how in the heck did you wait 4 years and however many months it was to tell that story on the podcast? That'd be the story I'd be telling everybody. It's such a good one.
Oh,
Anyway, you
you
guys
think
have
that was
that.
episode one? Okay. Okay.
It's so
No,
good.
I have been, the truth is I've been blessed with I think I've led a good life. Okay. I've been blessed with good jobs, and over my years, my many years on this earth, I think I have met many, many great people who I've absorbed, and I believe that they have absorbed me.
Yes.
And I have friends in high school who I could do 2 hours on, just Nathan, or my friend Cheech, or
Yep.
and um a lot of that stuff, it's like in the movie Inside Out. Okay,
Yes.
a lot of those memories are pushed back, and then bing, it pops up, and then it just comes back into the forefront. And I can't remember what sparked that story that I told Mike. But and then, that story that I told Mike reminded him of the Lonnie Stevens story that he had never told me.
There you go.
And so there it goes. And I really, if you compared me to Letterman, that's too kind. It's not true. But
I'm saying your
I
antics are inspired by, that is a perfect antic inspired by the antics of Dave.
yeah, okay, thank
And
you.
I do
Yeah,
them all the time too.
that's fair. But I live my life, and I try to do it kind of like David Sedaris, and that David Sedaris can walk from his front porch to his mailbox, and he can walk back and write a chapter about
Yeah.
what he saw, what he heard. if there was anybody who happened to walk by.
Yep.
And for many, many years, I've believed that David Sedaris is lying to us. He cannot possibly meet this many people. Okay.
Yep.
He cannot possibly find this many quirky things on a subway ride, or when going to the doctor's office, or say he was riding on the subway. Okay. So, but then I meet the woman at Kroger who says, "You want to touch my beets?" And that's not a fake story. That was, every single word of it was true. And my wife is like, "I don't know how you meet these people." And I just do. And I think my universe, I open myself to the universe.
By the way, the answer
Kind
to
of
the
like
question,
psychic
do you want
sandwich.
to, like,
I open myself to the universe.
of course
and
you do.
Yeah. And
No,
I
no,
hope.
no. We're going to get to the metaphysical part of it in a second. I just want to
Yes.
note the answer to "would you like to touch my beats" is always a resounding "you're damn right I do."
Yeah.
That's-
Hell yeah. Where you been all my life? Yeah.
But now let's go back to the metaphysics. And
Okay.
yes, it is. I do believe, like it's funny. Like, you were totally dropped into my life. I was
Yeah.
totally dropped into Jay Ryan's life. He talks about it all the time. Like
Yeah.
I didn't exist, and suddenly there's Mike, and Mike exists. And like,
Yeah.
I just love when that happens. And it's happened
Yeah.
so many times when I attach myself to doing things with no outcome, but things that I want to do, like this show, for
Right.
example. I literally, okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens. And suddenly all of these people, including the mighty, as you mentioned, Rupert G, dropped into my life and like, it was, no, this is meant to be. It's like two car parts interacting with each other, doing their own thing because of each other. And
Yeah.
it feels so great. I love that.
I
You
mean,
and Mike certainly have that, but the
yeah,
show
I
is so
happen
good.
to,
And I'm,
well, I don't believe I met you accidentally. I believe I was supposed to meet you.
yes,
There are people who are put into your lives for a reason, and I honestly believe you were one of them.
yeah,
And I'm very thankful for the podcast world and for the internet and for everything, because you and I would not be friends had this internet scientific world we live in.
yeah,
And thank God for that, seriously.
yeah.
But
Thank you,
I
Al Gore.
happened to stumble upon you talking about something about you're starting a podcast, and I sent you a message. "Hey, I hope you enjoy yours. I love doing mine."
Yeah.
And I didn't do that with the intention of being a guest.
No.
I just sent you a well wish.
Yeah.
And here we are all these years later, and we're good friends. I consider you a very good friend. And
Me too.
I believe that if we lived next door, we'd be going out and getting a beer a couple of times a week. So
100%.
Yeah.
Dueling hammocks. I don't know what that means. My wife and I were at brunch. My
Dueling
wife and I were at
hammocks.
brunch, and I just like saying, I said it twice because it sounds so pretentious. We were at brunch. There's the third time, and we were
Brunch.
talking. You you and I were messaging each other. I'm like, "Hey, can we do 2:30? Brunch is taking too long," and you got back and you said 2:25,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, "We have an accord." And because Canada US relations, accords are good things. And then you made a Honda joke, and I'm sitting there
I used to
laughing at
drive a
brunch.
Civic, but I don't know what that has to
Yeah.
do with anything.
That's right. That's right.
Proud of myself for that one.
And so I'm just laughing there, and I said to my wife, I said, "I just love this guy,
Thank you.
just such, yeah." And again, thanks to Al Gore for connecting everybody.
Thank you,
the
Al
way-
Gore.
Right?
Yes.
Right? He's a
Yes.
champion. He's a hero.
Yes.
And so, but there was a question I wanted to ask you, and it just went away because now I'm thinking of Vice President Gore in such reverence. I I want to talk about your field trip, because you took a field trip this week.
I did.
You were on a great field trip. Isn't
I
it
went
great
on-
when work gives you a field trip, and then when work gives you a field trip that is like right up your alley, so far up your alley? It's like going to the ice cream factory. It's
Right. Right? I mean, yeah. So a lot of people know that I work for Antenna TV,
Mhm.
okay, the classic television network. My wife is a nurse. She saves lives for a living.
Mhm.
In contrast, in comparison, I tell people what time they can watch Mork and Mindy. Okay, that's what I do for a living. I tell people when the Jeffersons comes on, or I tell them if we're going to do an all-day marathon of Archie Bunker's Place. That's my job. So months ago, we were in a meeting, and they said, Johnny Carson's 100th birthday is coming up, and we were going to go out to Norfolk, Nebraska, to the Johnny Carson Museum, where they were going to have like a 3-day thing.
Mhm.
And they decided, nah, we're not going to do that. We think we're going to, there's budget reasons, and there's a lot of other things. And I'm so glad they didn't. because they said, what we're going to do is we'll figure out something to do with Johnny Carson because we're very happy and very proud of our affiliation with Johnny Carson and having him on our network. He is one of our most popular shows. So they decided they've started doing these theme weeks once a month with like Carson versus the Critters. And then you promote a week long of Carson and Joan Emery's animals. And that was a fun promo to make.
I'm confused. Is it they or we?
Who?
You said they've been running these promos. It's we, like you're part of that, right?
We, yeah. We. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, just okay.
We've been running these theme promos for
myself.
Johnny Carson. One week was Carson versus Critters, and then it was Carson's Crazy Characters, where the whole week was Art Fern and Karnak and him as Superman and him as Aunt Blabby. God, he used to beat the crap out of Ed McMahon with his cane when he was Aunt Blabby. Ed could have seriously said, "Look, back up, dude," because Ed could have taken Johnny.
I would think so. You've brought up a whole bunch of things here that I think we should talk to Mark Malkoff about. But yeah,
that's true. Anyway, so we're doing a.
Did you do any Reagan? Did you get any Reagan in there?
We did not. Reagan was not part of the
awesome.
characters.
A lot of people.
He did an amazing Ronald Reagan.
He did. Anyway, keep going.
So for October, the special theme week is going to be Johnny's 100th birthday party, and so it is really tough to say who Johnny's true favorite guests were or most memorable, because for 30 years, I mean, it's hard to pick 6 episodes that were truly the most memorable. We handpicked 6 episodes that we believe Johnny would have loved having for his birthday. Burt Reynolds was on a couple of nights that week. Buddy Hackett was on. Dean Martin.
Yep.
The only time where Jackie Gleason was on the show was on that week. Jackie Gleason may have been the best guest Carson ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, Jackie was absolutely incredible. And so I'm doing all those promos. And then, so the deal was it's going to be a week long with special appearances by Doc Severinsen. Okay.
Yes.
Years before I started at Antenna TV, they interviewed Doc Severinsen. And I want to say something incredible about Doc Severinsen. So in this, I'm going through all this footage, a couple of hours of Doc stuff.
Yep.
They bring him in and he's sitting there and God, he's got the greatest Doc Severinsen suit, the most wild, outlandish thing you can imagine. It's a beautiful suit, beautiful. And they had him do all these affiliate promos on Cleveland's own WWH, whatever. And so he does a Cleveland promo and a St. Louis promo and something for Houston and something for St. Louis. And he does all those. And then he does all the Antenna TV promos. And you're watching Johnny Carson on Antenna TV. And he did it again. And if they'd ask him to, ask him to read a little faster, he did everything that they wanted him to do, but perfectly, just absolutely perfect. So he does all these promos, and then they were good. And they took a break, and they said, all right, we're going to sit down and do an interview. And so they, fixed his makeup, and he got some water. And they said, okay, Doc, you ready? He goes, yeah, but hang on one second. Hey, guys, listen. He says, if there was anything that I did that didn't sound right or I could have done better, let me know, and I will come back on my own dime.
Oh, my gosh.
And I will redo it.
Doc just wants out of the house.
He says, I am absolutely serious. And they said, Doc, that we are not going to need you to, because, I mean, he did everything exactly like they wanted to, but he offered to do that. That's the type of guy Doc Severinsen was. So I've never met the man. I'd love to meet the man, but I feel like because for like almost 3 weeks, I'm going through and doing all these Doc Severinsen promos for Johnny Carson. So anyway, so that was what Antenna TV did.
Yes.
In Chicago, there is a little museum, a pop-up museum called the Museum of Broadcast Communications.
Okay, it's a pop-up.
It's a pop-up. They used to have this museum at another location before I was ever in Chicago, and it closed because of the pandemic.
Okay.
So it had been out of business for a while. They've reopened it, and it's going to be open for 14 months. So if you're going to go to Chicago, go before January of 2027.
Yes.
So they've got the Museum of Broadcast Communications, and they had the Johnny Carson Centennial exhibit, 100 years of Johnny Carson. Amazing. absolutely amazing. And I'm a diehard fan of Letterman, but before I
Yeah,
knew who Letterman was, I
yeah,
was all about Johnny Carson. Okay.
absolutely.
And when Johnny Carson retired, I cried. His last episode, I
Yeah,
cried. And when he died, boy, did I cry. I
yeah.
had tears and I just felt like part of me was gone. And
No.
because without Johnny Carson, we wouldn't have had David Letterman, or we wouldn't have had Gary Shandling, or we wouldn't have had Drew Carey, or we wouldn't have
Yeah.
had Ray Romano, or
Yeah.
so
Essentially,
many
one of
things
the
would not have
entire
happened.
scopes of our
Yeah.
comedic vision
Yeah.
that we know
Yeah.
can be traced back, mostly can be traced back to somewhere
Yeah.
within Johnny Carson's mythos.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my company, Antenna TV, is, we sponsored the Johnny Carson exhibit. We were one of the sponsors of the Johnny Carson exhibit. And then what coincided with that exhibit was the evolution of late night television.
Right.
Okay. And you know who's in that exhibit? Our boy
Yeah,
Dave.
absolutely.
Okay.
Pat Sajak.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Tell
going to
me,
tell
tell me
you.
Sajak got mentioned. Tell me Sajak got mentioned in the display. Please tell me.
Sajak got mentioned. Yeah, I was going to say I felt bad for James Corden because James Corden hosted the Late Late Show. I don't know how many times. His face ain't on the wall, but you can see Pat Sajak in a little bitty picture.
Oh, that makes me so happy. That
Like
makes
a
me
foot
so
off the
happy.
floor. There's a little segment on the wall of shows that hit and miss or just didn't last, or whatever. They mentioned Chevy Chase, Pat Sajak, Thick of the Night with your boy Canadian hero Alan Thicke.
Thick of the
Yeah,
night.
so James Corden's not on the wall, but by God, Pat Sajak is.
That makes me so happy. That makes me so happy. Okay.
But
Anyway.
yeah, so I'm going through this. Uh, I'm going through the Johnny Carson Museum, and they've got Aunt Blabby's wig and Aunt Blabby's sweater. They've got one of the Johnny Carson mugs that he had on. Some moron was sitting there picking up the mug and yuck yuck with it. And I don't work there, but I wanted to go, hey, put down Johnny's mug, you ass. What are you doing? That's Johnny Carson's mug. They could drag me out of their kick, and I'll see you in hell. But he's touching Johnny's mug.
They have one of these?
They did not. I do not either.
No, John. I don't need. Mark
No.
Malkoff's got one. The original came from Carson. Carson had these.
Yeah,
He did
no,
the throw
they
on the
don't have
desk.
any. They didn't have any Johnny's double-ended pencils.
No. Okay.
No,
It's all
they
right.
did have.
Malkoff does.
They did have Mark Malkoff's got a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying that negatively. I like Mark
No,
Malkoff,
no,
but
it's envy. Everything is
he
100%
can spread
envy.
the love
Yeah.
a little bit. I pimped his book. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, how good is this book? So good. So
Yeah,
good.
we had him on the show. Mark Malkoff was amazing. He's an amazing guest.
He was a guest for the. I love. Okay, so your show every once in a while has guests.
Very rarely, yeah.
Yes, but
Yes.
Malkoff is one of them.
Malkoff has been on
fantastic.
there. Adam Needham has been on 4 times.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got to get back on. I think I've only been on twice.
Yeah, we'll have you back on. Yeah. Well,
All right,
I thought
all right.
you've been on 3 times because we did the crossover with the Letterman U2 thing.
With the U2 episode. Yes.
I think
Which
it's
Dave's
3, but-
EP watched. Like, that's the crazy thing. Like, that was weird.
Right?
That was
I
weird.
know.
He came up to me
I
and
know.
talked about
I
that.
heard
That
about
was-
that and I'm like, God. So, but yeah, back to
Except
Johnny.
this is his report. He had a little clipboard. He looked at it. He viewed it, and he's like,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah, it's harmless. We don't even have to worry about it." That's all he had. That's all he had to do.
He's like, put the dogs back in their cage. They're fine.
Yeah, that's right. Is this anything? No, it's not anything. No, it's
No, they're not a threat at all. Not anything whatsoever.
So okay,
yeah.
you go to this thing, and it's up for
Mhm.
14 months. Very good calendar math, by the way.
Yeah.
So for those of us who love this stuff here, it's a
Mhm.
great reason to go to Chicago. Do you
Oh,
think
yeah.
somebody could spend somebody like you or I who goes and reads through things and could we spend 4 hours there, 5 hours? Like, it sounds like it's
Yeah.
pretty in depth from everything you've
You
told
sure
me.
could. You sure could. If I breezed through it several times. If you read everything, and then there's all these QR codes on the
Yeah.
wall where
Yeah.
you can click on the QR code. I don't know the kids today and their phones and their
Sure.
Donkey Kong, and I know if you hit the QR code thing, if you tap it, if you swipe the QR code, Mike,
Yeah.
if you
Swipe it.
double tap it,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can watch these clips on your phone. So
Really?
there's QR
That's
codes
very
all over the
cool.
place where you can watch these great clips of Conan and Letterman and Carson and stuff. So yeah, Yeah, it's absolutely worth the money. And but yeah, Carson had you can sit at the desk, you can see
Yes.
Aunt Blabby. There's a Johnny Carson suit, there's an Ed McMahon suit, there's a Doc Severinsen suit, all encased in glass, bonk, 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 one after another. There's a wall full of more to come. Gels, okay? They had the artist who designed
Oh.
some of these more to comes, and they donated, I don't know how many, a ton of them. And there's one giant wall full of more to come. And I mean, you would, who would have thought that more to come would have become a thing?
Yeah.
But there's a thing in the museum about more to come.
Do you use more to come in your daily life in any way?
I should.
Well,
I
well, I
should.
suppose we all should. Yeah, I use it.
Actually, actually, I have when I was in college, I hosted a game show called Useless Knowledge,
Uh-huh.
and we basically ripped off remote control.
Sure,
Yeah,
as one
just
does.
start to finish, it was remote control, and we would use more to come going in and out of the breaks.
Oh, you would. Oh, that's a cool homage. I
As a
love
little
whenever I
nod
see
to
it.
Johnny. Yeah,
I love
yeah.
whenever I see it. I know, almost always. I feel. I don't ever always ask, but whenever I do see it somewhere, I
Hmm.
assume it's a Carson homage, and I do
Yeah.
it when I sign off certain emails to certain people. I will sign off more to come, Mike,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I certainly love that turn of phrase as well. I mean, you're right. You know what? It just makes me go, okay, we got to get Mark Carson on the podcast more. Like here we have the artist who
Yeah.
did so many of the bumpers, the bumper
Yeah.
art, and they're all good. They're all so good, and we have him like at our disposal right here. He's a friend. He's a friend of us,
Yeah.
and yeah, I got to talk to him more too. There's just
What's that thing on your desk in front of the late night bumpers book, the with the Letterman face on it? What is that?
this.
Yeah.
This is a piece of wood.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a piece of wood. Um, I'm going to be releasing a video soon. And by
Okay.
soon is when I get around to it. I have a friend who owns a memorabilia shop,
Hmm.
and he's built this business over 25 years, almost 30 years, actually. He used to be the kid that would go to like hockey card or baseball card conventions with like a briefcase, and he had
Right.
like a roll of 20s, and he was like a 15-year-old doing that, and he turned that into this massive memorabilia business. He has two stores. He has a sports store, and then he has a toy store, collectibles of all sorts of stuff, every
Right.
range from the smallest all the way to hundreds of thousands of dollars or some of these items. He's got like a bunch of game used Wayne Gretzky goal sticks.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So they recently decided to do their own in-house framing. And so what they did was they bought all this equipment and are going to create all of these customized pieces. So you could take your ticket stub and the poster, the gig poster for the U2 show that you went to when you were a kid, and then the
Right.
band signed it afterwards. You hand it to them, and what will come back to you is this framed piece, all with like laser cut U2 art inside it and all this sort of crazy stuff. So I have one
Okay.
now in my office. Yeah, the other version of the picture, my picture with Dave, that I won't
Hmm.
stop talking about, similar to your dad, like seeing Bob Dylan. I won't stop
Right. Right.
talking about that. I
Yeah, he
have
saw him. He was in
they saw
California.
saw in a little bar.
He walked into a like a bar, right? And then in the corner, there's a man with a guitar. He was playing. Okay, I'm sorry.
Um,
Oprah, call Dave.
so my friend Jason, he and I've been doing stand up together and stuff. We're both, a couple of businessmen in the community that are really trying to chase the things that we love. So we've been doing stand up together and a few other things. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. He gave me a framed piece that has my other version of that picture, um, the picture that Jay gave me of Dave. So both two signed pictures, and then they
Yeah.
actually created the graphic to laser cut of Letterman's logo, which is on your beanie cap, a
Right.
toque up here in Canada, as we like to say.
Okay.
Um, and they put it into the picture, and it's beautiful. By the way, shout out to Walter Kim's daughter, who is the one that designed this.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
and so anyway, it's this beautiful, beautiful piece, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I shot a video of the reveal, and that's the video we'll release here soon. Just an absolutely gorgeous piece. And so then they gave me that piece of wood that had the original test laser cut of the graphic,
Nice.
and we've actually gotten some rock actual stone coasters with the logo on it. And I'm sending that. You know what? This episode's going to be out whenever it's out. The week that this episode comes out, I'm actually sending a Canadian care package to them, including coasters with that. And so this was the prototype for the coaster.
Okay, cool.
So anyway, that's a 5-minute answer to an 8-second question. But if you ever wanted, well, I shouldn't say that.
Well, speaking of the Dave logo,
Yes.
when I was in Chicago, I had my blue Letterman this shirt on.
Yep.
And because we went to the museum a couple of days before the big grand opening of it.
Yep.
To put some things in, because we also did an I Dream of Jeannie exhibit, which I'll talk to you about that in a second.
Yes.
But I had my Letterman shirt on, and I got my picture taken with part of the Letterman, the War for Late Night exhibit. And anyway, I wear it back to the hotel, and I get in the elevator, and these two gentlemen, and they ain't from here. Not that there's a problem with that, but they looked at me and they pointed at my shirt and pointed at me, and they says, "Is that you?" I said, no. Like, one, why would I be wearing my own face on my own shirt? But I said, no, this is David Letterman. Oh, David Letterman. I said, yes.
That is a fantastic nondescript accent.
I'm not trying to make, I don't want a Hank Azaria Apu
No,
situation
it's
here.
nondescript. It's perfect. There's no country on the earth that sounds like that.
Oh, David Letterman, yes. And I said, and one guy says, he's not on TV anymore. I said, well, he's got my next guest. Yes. Said, okay, so they knew my next guest, but David Letterman, they said. I'm like, okay. But yeah, is that you? No, it's not me. I wish I had the money.
Oh my God.
Oh man. But so there was the Johnny Carson exhibit.
Yep.
And then there was the evolution of late night TV. Okay. Yep. And this one you saw, and this is where I got kind of annoying with my coworkers who were with me at the exhibit. I'm like,
I've been that guy.
I've got that. I've got that. On the wall, there was a CBS Employee of the Year poster framed, and there's me, looking at it. And I'm like, I've got this. I've got this poster. Yes, Darin, you have almost every.
Yep.
The TV guides in the case. Yep. I had almost all of them except for one, and I've got a stack of TV guides here that they don't have. And I was talking to some of the museum curators there.
Yep.
I'm considering. I was like, God, if I should donate some stuff, and on loan from Darin Cox.
Oh my God, is that a thing?
Well, it's possible. Yeah, you could loan stuff to a museum.
Oh,
it would be on loan from, and then there would be my name, right? Because I mean, this ain't in the museum.
No, gosh, no. Of course not.
Oprah called Dave these bumper stickers. That's not in the museum. Mad Magazine.
Yep.
No, that's not in the museum. This really should have been in the museum.
Absolutely. Okay,
I don't know why it wasn't. This absolutely should have been in the museum, because it was. And then the cream of my Dog World magazine.
Oh, see,
I only know one other person who has this, and that's my friend Sandy Skeen, and I bought it for her. So, but I mean, this TV guide.
I feel like Don Giller has that in a filing cabinet somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, this should have been in the museum. Letterman's first Emmy, one from his morning show. Right? How do I have it? I shouldn't have showed that. You need to delete over that. They're probably looking for that. Are you okay? Something that is in the museum that I have is Johnny Carson's album.
Oh, that's lovely.
But they have the gold in its frame.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Because, but yeah, I mean.
Did they have any of Johnny's clothes?
His clothes?
Yeah, he had a suit line.
Yeah, they've got a suit of his, one of Ed's, and one of Doc's.
No, but like Johnny Carson had, like, I've got a sport coat upstairs that's like Johnny Carson.
Right, that's
like,
what I'm saying. One of Johnny Carson's
okay,
suit.
cool.
Yeah, because he wore his own suits.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's like, and you could learn so much stuff, because there's still people today who forgot that Johnny was on a show called Do You Trust Your Wife, which eventually became Who Do You Trust?
Yep.
And that's where he first met Ed McMahon. They worked together on that show before they did The Tonight Show, right? Yep.
Yep.
But you move over to the evolution of late night, and there's a lot of stuff of Letterman. There's some stuff from Conan O'Brien, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog.
I know. I love that picture of you with Triumph. You're going to send me all these pictures so we can overlay them throughout the conversation.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because,
So
like,
Triumph is in there.
that was
And
the
then-
picture you sent me. Like, because you had told me about this, and I was going to try and figure a way. I was in Toronto last week, and it was just bedlam.
Yeah.
But you had given me the opportunity. Hey, because you got to go in early. You got to go into this thing at night early. Like you had a had what they call a soiree. Were you at a soiree at this exhibit?
Yes, I was. I was hobnobbing with Chicago Elite. Pinky up.
Really?
Pinky up
Oh, pinky up. Yes.
While you drink your can of PBR.
Yep.
They had some Conan stuff. They had the Will Ferrell Harry Carey costume.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I know, but you read along the wall, and they've got the whole thing about when Johnny left, and it was Dave and Jay. Was it going to be Dave or Big Jaw? Jay. By the way, I also have a Jay Leno at 10 poster that I got from my TV station. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to donate that. We don't need more Jay in this museum. I got a Late Night with Conan O'Brien keyring that I've had since I bought this in the gift shop the day they gave me the tickets to see Conan O'Brien.
That's fantastic.
So, but it's like I love the museum. The museum was awesome. Could they have had more Letterman? Sure.
Yeah.
They could have had an entire warehouse the size of Maryland, full of David Letterman stuff, and I don't think it would have been enough stuff. So. But
one might suggest that Dave deserves his own exhibit somewhere.
I agree.
If exhibits were a thing anymore that people go to see, I sure hope people go to see this thing and populate it.
I'm telling you got to go. If you're in Chicago, go to the Museum of Broadcast Communications. You just have to. You really, really have to. Also in the museum, they have Bozo the Clown. Okay, Chicago.
Yep.
That's famous from WGN TV, Bozo the Clown exhibit. And then we had the I Dream of Jeannie exhibit.
Yeah.
Okay, celebrating 60 years of I Dream of Jeannie. And we created this. Dan Brown, one of my bosses, was the brainchild of this, designed this wall that looked like the inside of Jeannie's bottle.
It's a great picture.
Sit on a couch, have your picture taken inside Jeannie's bottle. And Libby, my wife, God love her, I love her so much. She was so jealous. She says, I want to be in Jeannie's bottle.
Oh, no way. That's beautiful.
But this was the thrill for me because here it is. I've worked in television since 1993. So that's 32, going on 33 years.
Mm-hmm.
I edited a video that was part of this loop that we have in the monitor at the I Dream of Jeannie exhibit. So there's a video that I made on loop in this museum.
That's fantastic.
Now, how cool is that?
It's super cool. To a very select few. Select few, it's really cool. Just to a select few. But again, to that select few, you are the cream that has risen to the top, my friend.
People would walk by and I'm like, I edited that video.
Oh God!
This wasn't in the museum.
Yeah, that's OG too, right?
That's OG. Yep. So, it was so amazing. Barbara Eden was supposed to be there, but
really?
Or we heard she was coming, and then at the last minute, either she wasn't feeling well, or her husband wasn't feeling well, and they were unable to come. So. But yeah, it would have been a madhouse if Barbara Eden had been there.
I feel like if Barbara Eden had a chance over her post Jeannie career to get out there into the convention show circuit and the circuits where, folks like her are brought on for appearances and things like that. I feel like she in particular would have a lot of eclectic stories of interesting things that people would have come up to her and said.
Oh yeah.
Women and men. I just feel like because of who she was and what she did, I believe there's a lot of people who would throw a lot of maybe inside voice type stuff at her.
Right. Well, she's done those, not Comic-Con, but whatever you call the cons.
Just conventions and things like that.
Conventions, yeah. She's done those a lot. And they were fortunate enough, my company, they interviewed her a while back. And she was absolutely just the nicest, sweetest, kindest. and she had great things to say about Larry Hagman and the producers, and her costume felt just like pajamas, and she loved it, and it was such a great experience, and she just had so many great things to say, and she couldn't have been more pleasant. So I was bummed that I didn't get to meet Barbara Eden, but that's how it was.
Yeah. We're a couple of 50-year-old guys
Yeah.
that are, in our 50s. I'm almost 50, you're 55. I think it's important to note that distinction.
Yeah, I'll always be older than you.
That's right. That's right. It's interesting, the idea, and I think you and I have talked about this before. I certainly have on the show here before. The idea of passing the torch of knowledge to different generations, and how, it's so interesting that broadcasting, when you look at the scope of human history, is such a small speck of time. And
Oh, yeah.
But it has impacted, because I would say you and I are probably, the kids, if not the grandkids of broadcasting. Our grandparents, both of our grandparents came before television, and they were
Yeah.
radio people, and
Yeah.
and that was it. So
If I can, my dad,
yeah,
so they didn't have a TV when he was a kid,
right.
and there was one person in their neighborhood who had a TV, and they were friends, and they would let them come over on whatever night and watch Groucho.
Yeah.
And so the cable was, I think he said it was thrown over the branches or something, so that the people wouldn't drive over it or something. But I mean, he listened to the radio before he watched TV. And when I was a kid, I mean, we had 3 channels.
Yep.
And sometimes you could get PBS in, but not all the time. That's with Sesame Street. And then with our house, we had an antenna on top of the TV, and had a rotary dial that changed it.
That's
and
what
when
we
the
had.
rotary dial broke, instead of buying another rotary dial, my father, Marvin Cox, would climb on top of the house with his hand and turn the antenna north to south so that we could get the CBS station instead of the NBC station.
Wow.
So Dad would literally risk his life climbing on top of the house to change the channel. With the rotary dial, because seriously, I think North got the NBC station and South got CBS, or I can't remember which one it was, but you would change it and it would. I'm not gonna.
What would it do? Sorry?
And it would take 3 to 4 minutes to get it. You would slowly go from snow, and then you would like catch it. And that's why TV shows, I think, had like the 4-minute intros. It was like Alan Alda. I mean, yes, MASH is on. Yes.
And the opening credits plays half the song. Yeah, no, it's funny. My wife and I just started Parks and Rec again, and in season 1 of Parks and Rec,
so much.
It had a longer intro, and the intro just shrunk throughout the series of Parks and Rec down to like very, 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 very short. But to go back to the original point, you and I, okay, so we're the grandkids of this. We're the kids of the grandkids of what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
And now I look at like my granddaughter. And when she has some screen time,
she's
when she
a
has the
sweetheart,
phone,
by the way.
Oh yeah, she's the best.
My
she's
goodness.
she's the best human walking the planet is my granddaughter.
Yeah.
She's so bent in such great ways. I'm going to be doing some stuff with my granddaughter. The other day, I shot sort of a test episode of my granddaughter watching Dave throw shit off towers, and she was immersed. Ain't no distraction there. She was like the entire segment. And every time a new item would come up, she'd be like, "Oh, like what's it gonna do when she throws off the tower?"
There's hope. There's hope for the future.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing some watch along stuff, and I'll put it out here because it's so funny. Because she's 7, but she's also hilarious, and so anyway, but I look at what she watches, and just it's like 8 seconds of this and 6 seconds of this, and scrolling or watching, very, very, very short attention span, right? And I mean, yes, I worry about that, but I'm also like, well, you know what? The human spirit is, it will endure. It's endured everything, but we're just enduring a lot of change really, really quickly.
I don't think you can fight it. I don't think
you can't. You can't.
You're gonna have to embrace it.
Yeah, it's a new normal for a new generation, and as you and I get older, we get entrenched. The cement dries that much more for us until we become statues that are no longer capable of learning anything.
Dude,
but
what a metaphor! What a deep. Is it the mushrooms?
Must be. It must be the mushroom. That's cool.
I'm sending this to
There's
you.
one right there. There's an Emmy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sending this to you, man.
Thank
For
you,
that
brother.
for that metaphor alone.
Um, but like there's
Or was
this
that an
need. Like
analogy?
I wonder if Alara is gonna have a need to tell her kids or her grandkids about the cultural phenomenon that is K-pop Demon Hunters when she's older. Like I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna stick with her or not,
Uh-huh.
because I just like even I Dream of Jeannie, you talk about it. That show ended 5 years before I was born, right? But yet I would
Right.
watch it after
Mhm.
school. It would be one of the
Yep.
syndicated shows that I would watch. I'm pretty familiar with that. I'm pretty familiar with the Beverly Hillbillies, even though that show was off the air before I was even born.
Right.
And then of course the things that we really attach to, like you and I and these other, few dozen people who have attached ourselves to Letterman, and
Yeah.
it's such a part of us, and yet it's so temporary. Like
Yeah.
you look at now how fast things are going and changing when it comes to this. Broadcasting is going away in so
Hmm.
many respects.
It
Uh,
is.
but I got to tell you, I
Okay.
sure like the last breath of fire that late night television is taking, when it comes to it's not going quietly into the night, and
If
I
it's going
love
down,
that.
it's going down swinging.
Is it ever?
You're
That's been
you're
so
grabbing
crazy.
it by
You and
the
I haven't talked
arms
about this. What's
and it's kicking its legs saying, "I'll see you in hell." Yeah,
yes.
late night TV is absolutely going down swinging. Let me ask you something. I know this is your show, and I'm not trying to take over as host,
No,
but
please
my
do.
friend Todd and I were on WGN Radio promoting the museum and the anniversary, the birthday editions of Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And the lady asked us if because I told her, Johnny Carson has been off air longer than he was on air. Okay, he was on
Yeah,
air
that's
30
weird.
years. He's
That
been off,
messes
I
me
think,
up.
32 years, something which it's crazy, hard to fathom that.
That messes
But
me
she
up.
said, and people are still talking about it. She said, "Do you think people will still be talking about Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel or David
Yeah.
Letterman or something?" I know I'm biased,
Uh-huh.
but I think 30 years from now, Letterman, yes. I don't know so much about, I don't know if Colbert will be remembered this many years after. And mainly because I mean, he's talented and he
Mhm.
has a good show and he does a really good interview.
Yep.
Okay. He does a very good interview,
Yep.
but he doesn't do the things that, that really make him stand out, like Art Fern and Karnak
Yeah.
and throwing shit off the building and putting on the Velcro suit,
Yep.
And so as talented as Stephen Colbert is, I don't know if people will still be talking about his episodes that many years later, or
Yeah,
Kimmel or Fallon.
it's
But Letterman,
interesting.
yes.
See, and I think part of the reason that is it's ironic in so many ways, because
Hmm.
these shows, many people have made the comment that these shows have taken things that Dave has done and run with it, right?
Hmm.
The problem is that the shows are also to me presented the same way. Like how many people are talking about, hey, that very memorable episode of the 5 o'clock news 25 years ago.
Right.
It becomes a daily consumable that gets then
Hmm.
recycled. And
Right.
the thing about that Johnny and that Dave did is they created moments that transcended that by far. They were not shows that just talked about the events of the day like
Right.
the evening news is, just
Right.
with maybe
Right.
a
Right.
more entertaining style or whatever.
Mm.
They created stuff that I think has a lot of substance to it. I think I think that the stuff that the entire team at the Daily Show did, as an example, in
Yeah.
the Daily Show's first, 5 years, the
Hmm.
stunts that they would pull. I
Right.
mean, Colbert on the Rapport before he went over to Late Show or the
Yeah.
Late Show. The stunts that he would do, I think, not only Letterman-esque, but worth a generation looking at and saying, "Hey, this was important." The same way you and I are doing that with Letterman.
Yeah.
I think that there are people out there who like Jon Stewart that much. I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know if like I say this all the time about like it appears that Jay Leno doesn't have a Don Giller. it just appears that
Yeah,
like it's the cult following thing, right? Where
right.
these people who are like, you know, expert level, whatever it is they are, Don being an archivist,
Yeah.
attach themselves and can
Uh-huh.
identify so much with a show or something. It's almost like team sports, people who really get into a team. I don't know how big Leno's following still is who aren't car enthusiasts, and that's no offense to him and what he
It's not
does, and
either. Yeah, I hear you, but
he's
you're
selling
right
out everywhere
because
still. People still want to go see him, that kind of a thing. I just think it's a little bit different with certain ones. Like certain bands become up in Canada, Rush or Pink Floyd
Mhm.
or some of these bands that have, or the Grateful Dead, Fish, these bands
Mhm.
that have these unbelievable cult followings where the people, whatever that number ends up being, really, really go to the mattresses to support them.
Yeah.
And I think Letterman's got a lot of that. I think he's got a lot of that.
And and to that point, and not to offend Jay, but
Right.
of course, I'm a bigger fan of Letterman.
Yeah.
Jay was talented.
Yeah,
Okay,
of course.
Jay had his niche. Jay was a Jay was talented. Okay,
Yeah.
and I know Jay's not on my algorithm, but
Right.
you would think that you would see more Leno stuff pop up, especially as much as I'm on the Facebooks and the
That's my
TikTok.
point. Yeah.
I just, randomly don't see that. Also, Conan stuff will pop up. Jimmy Kimmel pops up, and I'm a fan of late night TV and all sorts of that stuff. But I don't see stuff of Big Jaw popping up on there.
No, see, the only time I really made a point to watch Jay Leno's Tonight Show was when Kevin Smith was on. He did a run where he and where Jay would send him on remotes. And I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, so
Yeah.
I would watch that. But like I'm curious why, and Kevin Smith has this huge cult following of people. Why aren't there
Hmm.
people who are Leno enthusiasts and Kevin Smith enthusiasts that are celebrating this body of work that they did together, which is, I don't know,
Right.
30 appearances or whatever
Right.
it was. But I just don't see that either. And
Yeah.
and it's funny, like when it comes to cult followings, the guy who seems to me that might have the ability, like somebody discovers it if they can get enough episodes and whatnot, is Ferguson. I honestly think Ferguson. I
Yeah.
hear like it's so funny. People will ask, "Oh yeah, okay, you host that Letterman podcast about Dave Letterman." I love Craig Ferguson. I get that all the time from people.
Yeah.
People loved him,
Yes.
and
Yes.
yeah, it's interesting, the idea about this. The fragmentation of things, and that's what happened when the genre expanded.
So, because Letterman wasn't, it's famously told that Letterman wasn't allowed to do anything like Johnny. You weren't allowed
Yeah,
to do the monologue. You weren't
yeah,
allowed to have the big band. You can't
yep,
have these guests on. And they said, well, okay. They told us all the things that we can't do. So these are the things that we can do. We can put on a
yeah,
Velcro suit. We can ride down the steps and we can throw things off the building and we can do all those things. So, I mean, Letterman just uh, totally took that format and made it his own.
yep.
I mean, now he even admits that he stole some stuff from Steve Allen,
Of course,
you know, but
yeah,
whatever.
and Johnny too,
But
by the way. And by the way,
yeah,
when folks read this book, Love Johnny Carson, and please do read it, you
yeah,
will see how much stuff that Carson did first that Letterman did do. Like there are so many things. Mark and I had a big 2-part episode, which I'm going to talk to you about here in a second.
yeah,
Big 2-part episode where we actually talked about how many of these things that we thought Dave invented, but actually they were little remixes of things that Johnny did. And
hmm,
like Johnny, his first 10 years, he did a lot of stunts. I don't remember Johnny Carson as a stunt guy, as a guy going out of the studio doing a lot of things. In the first 10 years, he did a lot, and Malkoff talks about it in the book here. And and it's funny, you think about the first 10 years of that
hmm,
show, and then it moves over to Burbank, and then
hmm,
it gets to the place where it's an hour instead of 90 minutes. And that's about the time that I kind of came online
yes,
and saw it. And that was my impression of the Tonight Show. But that previous
yeah,
20 years was fascinating, just the same as somebody who came on board with Letterman in high school at late show time. And that's all they
right,
knew was late show Dave.
right,
I would say that the comparison between that first 12 years at late night and Johnny's
hmm,
first 10 years in New York had a lot of comparables to them. and from everything from the host finding themselves and getting better and battling from adversity, but also the content. And then after that first 10 years for Carson, 12 years for Letterman when he moved over, everything changes, everything evolves, and it grows, and it moves into something different. But certainly the comparison is apt. You talked about 30 years ago, 30 years from now, what people are going to be talking about, 32 years from now. One thing that I do think will be universal is that people will be making jokes about Jimmy Fallon having no talent. I believe that will still be happening 30 years from now. I think it'll endure. I think it'll endure. And now I say that tongue in cheek because I think Fallon has a metric ton of talent. I think he's very talented, but I just love making the joke whenever we can.
I don't know. I mean, I saw the clip of him. I think it was, I believe he hosted Saturday Night Live after he left.
Sure.
And they did.
He has, yes.
It was what's it called? Time Travel Family Feud. Okay, when he played the young John Travolta, and then went around the camera and changed outfits, and then played the current John Travolta. And I'm like, my God, that may be my favorite impression.
It's so good.
And seriously. Because, it started out so weird, okay, Mr. Carter. And there's like, I'm very happy to be here, and this is what's going to happen. And so I can't do it justice. But I'm like, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize that John Travolta became a completely different person. But Jimmy Fallon's impression of new Travolta, old Travolta, I'm sorry, man, that ranks right up there with whip my hair back and forth, Neil Young. But you didn't ask me, here's my problem with Fallon.
Yeah.
He keeps smacking the desk.
Yeah.
He keeps smacking the desk. And there are people who say he's too nice. I don't care that he's too nice. I like nice people.
Yeah.
Okay. If I didn't like nice people, I wouldn't be on your show. Okay. I like nice people. I don't want to watch an asshole host a show all the time. Right? Yeah, he's nice to his guests. And yeah, he laughs a lot. And he wants them to do well. And okay. But he keeps smacking the desk. And that bugs me. That just bugs me.
That's in cement now. That's one of the things that he has. It's become a thing. It's like Conan has one that he's broken it for the most part since the podcast. But I hear him on the podcast as well. Guest comes on and he's like, "Oh, hey, great, nice to see you. So much to talk about." That's the thing Conan used to always say. There's so much to talk about.
Right.
That was just his thing. Like it was his thing to the point where it did not fade into the background for me. It came into the forefront every single time he said it, kind of like found. And again, I love Conan, love him.
Oh yeah. I'm a huge fan of Conan. And I mean, I remember because I started in TV in 93.
Yeah.
And that was I started a few weeks before Letterman moved to CBS.
Before the late night shit show.
Before the late show evolved or came on to CBS.
Yeah.
And our NBC affiliate there was Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol. Okay. The WCYB station did not run Late Night with Conan O'Brien. Mm-hmm. They ran something else in its place. Mm-hmm. And it was months before they figured he's not getting canceled, and then they put him on. So I missed a lot of the beginning of Conan O'Brien's show.
Yeah.
And then it came on, and you could, you watched him, and he was awkward, and he wasn't getting the great guests, and someone's just like, this is, and why did they hire him? How did you get this show? But I never disliked him. I never once disliked him. Because the first time I saw Conan O'Brien, Letterman had him on. And he brings him on and he wishes him luck with the new show. And Conan said that if he tells a joke and it doesn't do well, what they're going to do is go to a shot of that Native American Indian who is going down the creek in his canoe seeing all the trash. And they're going to do the close-up of the tear coming down his eye. And I said, okay, that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. And it was from that moment on, I'm like, I like this guy.
Yep.
And I have been on Team Conan, and I've wished him well ever since day one.
Yep, me too.
And when he got screwed and taken off the Tonight Show, I was, don't blame Conan.
Don't blame Conan. I'm still not. Despite constant
he's
pressure,
I'm
still not blaming Conan.
Conan is a family man.
Yeah.
Don't blame Conan. So and then it's like he's got that incredible podcast now. My God, my show is nothing
No,
compared
mine too.
to Conan's podcast. Oh,
But like,
but
okay, so the guys who get the cult following, or the guys who, in my opinion, move the ball down the field, like Carson gets a pass, and I shouldn't even say gets a pass. Carson, he went the longevity route with one franchise because by
right,
that point, Parr had been on, I think, 5 years, and Allen maybe
something like that.
4, and they considered that a marvelous achievement. It was
Yeah,
marvelous that he could be on 5 years, and then Carson's like, "Okay, hold my beer," and
yeah,
goes and becomes the most powerful man in television, certainly, if
yeah,
not up there in entertainment, throughout that legendary run. Okay, there's
yeah,
Carson's
yeah,
mark.
yeah,
There's Carson's mark. Okay, so and it's the Tonight Show. Okay, and it's the impenetrable fortress. So then you got Letterman. Okay, so he goes and makes his own. Like, why does Letterman become the cult guy and maybe the heir apparent? Leaves and literally goes and creates a franchise for the first time in history that not only is competitive but can actually is capable of beating the Tonight Show,
yeah,
and showed, okay, and I'll win the longevity game now too.
right,
Okay, and of course the differences of the shows and
yeah,
Dave's sensibility, all that stuff, right?
yeah,
Jay gets the Tonight Show. He takes over the mantle and has said many, many, many times, all I cared about was staying number one. I just wanted to right the ship. His the narrative that he likes to put out there is, I got the Tonight Show at number one. I had the Tonight Show. It was number one when I left it. It's like I'm supposed to hold on to it. Like, that's his rule. Like
yeah,
that wasn't what Johnny. That's not what Johnny did. Johnny, made his own mark, and Jay was like,
mm,
I'm just going to take this mark and I'm going to coast with it from a
yeah,
franchise perspective, or at least that's the narrative he likes to put out there these days.
right,
Whatever. Okay, now you look at a guy like Colbert.
hmm
30 years from now, I think they're going to be talking about Colbert because Colbert went, okay, the rapport is amazing. And anybody who does any research into the rapport and realizes the achievement that man did for that, whatever it was, 7 years or 9 years, whatever it was,
something like that.
doing the rapport and then taking over for David Letterman
Hmm.
and then getting screwed with his pants on when he was number one,
Right,
to then move into whatever it is he's going to move into now, which is
yeah,
going to be awesome.
hmm,
Conan O'Brien, same deal. Like Colbert, that's why Conan O'Brien has a cult following.
yeah,
Took over for David Letterman. Okay, and that show was awesome and kept, in
yeah.
my opinion, the franchise of late night consistent. I don't believe it's been consistent since Conan
He
left.
Conan kept the spirit of late night
Yes,
alive
it seemed like the same
because
show.
it was wacky, quirky. You had someone who, like, why are they on television?
Yes,
That was a Letterman. Why? Like,
100%.
what's like my uncle Bob? I
Yep.
remember when I was a kid, I'm at his house, and the one of the commercials or promos for the morning show comes on, and Bob's like, "Oh, I like this guy," and he's like, "Hey, our show's coming on, and it's in color." Whatever. And I was like, that was the first time I ever saw David Letterman. I was
Yeah.
just a kid, and I missed all the appearances on Carson and the guest hosting and all that. And so I
Yep.
was so young
Yep.
that when Letterman was on late night, it's like it was during the school week, and I couldn't
Yeah.
watch him until the summer.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then
That was
it's
me too.
because
Sleepovers in summertime and whatnot was mostly
yeah, because it's
when I
like on
got to see it.
Friday nights you couldn't watch him because they had Friday night videos. He was
Friday night
on four
videos.
nights a
Yeah.
week. So I missed so much of that. But then, it's like when I started my career and I would watch him. I would record him every night, and I would watch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, usually on Saturday, and on
Mhm.
Sunday I would watch Thursday and Friday because I would record him every night because you got to go to work the
Yep.
next day. And so that's how I kept up with Letterman all those years. And so, but
Same thing for me. And I think you're exactly right. When Conan took over, it was like if late night had a voice,
mhm.
Conan still used that voice, but yet entirely made the show his own. But
Yeah,
it still felt like late night.
it
Kimmel
did.
or Fallon, I should say. I
Jimmy
know he
Fallon
liked to play. He played
felt like
games with
Saturday Night
people,
Live to
but
me.
yeah,
Seth feels like weekend update.
that's right.
And I like Seth.
Me too.
I like
But
Seth a lot.
I do too, but doesn't feel like late night. There it is. Yeah, there you go. But doesn't feel like late night from the tradition of what we're talking about with Dave and Conan.
No, it doesn't
Then
feel like
Conan
late night.
moves over
It
to
doesn't
take
feel
over
like
the
the
Tonight
franchise.
Show,
Mhm.
right? Then Conan goes to move over to take over the Tonight Show, and it's like, okay, the wrong has been righted, and that's going to happen. And then that debacle happened. And then he goes and has this amazing show. Like, I love the TBS run. I love the TBS
His
run.
TBS show was phenomenal.
It was so good. And then what's the different thing? Moves over and is trailblazing in podcast and his deal with Sirius and all of these things that he's doing that way. So Conan, to me, the through line is these people that are doing things that are different. They're taking it, they're showing they can do the normalization stereotype of what late night is as a genre, but then they go and do something completely different with it. And Dave's still doing that because he's doing the long form now, and he's doing these other things that he's doing. So that's why I think that Conan will have that enduring cult following. I believe that Colbert will have it as well. Kimmel, I don't know. Kimmel to me is like,
I think he will, now that his show was ripped and 4 days later he's like, and then came back. I think we're going to be looking at that 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now.
Maybe
that they tried to take his show away, and he's like, I don't think so. Well, actually, the fans said I don't think so.
Yeah, well, and I mean, that number just came out. Disney, they said it was 1 million people. Like, it was 3 million total, but the net result because of the Kimmel, an entire 1 million people canceled their Disney Plus subscription. And that is, I'm grateful.
That's
like
what happens when people unite.
Yeah.
And say they're tired of this shit.
Yep.
That's what happens.
Well, and like you said earlier, late night's going down swinging, and I love that. Kimmel to me is like, okay, so you or I are very much acolytes of everything that Dave did, and if we have any talent in this world, if we can put it to use in a way that is sort of similar, that can show that it was inspired by Dave and even be in that world at all, we're very, very happy. I would put Kimmel into that category.
Yeah.
And to me, where he and Dave are so different. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Kimmel's show. I really do. I love the things that he does with his family members. I think that's really the remotes and the extras that he does are good.
And he's a good interview.
And I believe that he's a phenomenal interviewer as well. Yeah, absolutely. But then he's also like where Dave was the counterculture, counter the boss, counter the network, be perhaps a little bit contradictive. Just as in nature. Kimmel is exactly the opposite. He's also you and I in the sense of, wait a second, Disney owns this shit? You mean I get to have every Avenger on my couch? I get to have every Star Wars? I get to wait, hold on. Yep. We can do like things at their events and extras and okay. Yeah, I'm in. And imagine, and is just as excited to not be counterculture because he's the guy for Disney. And then now he's at the place where I love where Kimmel's at, is he's also saying, you know what? My family's important. Work-life balance. Work-life balance as a late night host. I'm taking the summer off. I'm having guest hosts again. Hey, I'm going to take pages out of Johnny's book, and I'm not even going to care about the idea that this person is popping more and I'm not going to be worried and have a scarcity mentality. I'm going to enjoy this job while I have it. Holy smokes. Like, to me, I love Kimmel for that. I think he's fantastic for that. I don't know that gets him the cult following, though, that these other hosts get.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're a damn good listener, sir. Hey, can we work on something? Can we do something here? I need you to shoot some. We're gonna shoot something right here, right now. Okay.
Right here, right now, on this very stage.
Yep. Right. Yeah. We're gonna do it. So what we're gonna do. I don't do part 1, part 2 episodes very often. Okay. I probably should with some of the longer shows that we have. I probably should cut them up into 2 parts. That's something that Shecky appreciated. Like when I had my interview or my conversation with Felicia Collins, I broke that one up into 2, and Shecky was like, that was a smart move because I was interested in the entire conversation, but not everybody can sit around for 2.5 hours.
I've noticed that with our almost all my episodes now are under an hour.
Oh man, yeah.
If I can get them between 45 and 50 minutes, that's just dandy, because that seems like, for us, it's what's worked for Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Sure, yeah.
People seem to be very comfortable with that amount of time before they really start getting tired of listening to our shit.
Yeah. Man, you get 45 minutes. You're lucky. I get 45 seconds and people are tired listening to my shit. I got to tell you, okay, but we broke Mark Malkoff's episode up into two. And the reason we did
Okay.
is because it's very meaty. Like we dive in, like it's a deep dive because
Yeah.
this book here is so well researched, well written. I've said it so many times. It has 40 pages of sources at the end, like the bibliography section.
Yeah.
It's not even an index, it's a bibliography. 40 pages. Like it is so well researched. It's such a beautiful book.
Yeah,
And
but
I had
that's
3
because it
pages
was
of
written by
notes.
Mark Malkoff, the king of research.
The king of research. Yes.
Guy who
And
knows how he blows my mind.
he does. His mind is incredible, and I can relate to it because there are certain things that etch themselves, they brand themselves into my long-term memory banks, and I'm able to pull it out very, very quickly. Where I'm astounded with him is the depth of it. Like I could probably do 2 seasons of Saturday Night Live hosts from my formative years, and I wouldn't mess it up too badly. Mark can do almost the entire run. Okay, in '89, it was this person, and then this person, then this person, then this person. There was the musical guest, but they had to cancel because such and such happened. Like he knows it, and it's
Right.
just amazing to me. So when we had our conversation, my goal was to have a conversation with him that was unlike anybody else. I wanted to go so much deeper and ask questions that he has never been asked before, and have
Okay.
discussion points. So it went 2.5 hours, and so what we decided to do was go 2 parts. Okay.
Okay.
So part 2 is going to come out next week, but I'm at the point now where I have to shoot like a separate intro. Like I shot my original intro, not knowing, I was kind of hedging if it was going to be 2 parts or not. And then I never shot a second one. So what I would love is, would you please do the intro and the outro to the Mark Malkoff episode? And I'll give you some notes of things you can talk about, but like, would you introduce and outroduce Mark Malkoff's part 2 episode for me?
Sure.
Excellent. Thank you very much. This is great. This is
I
going
don't
to
know
save me
how
a lot
to-
of work.
I don't know how to do that though, but
Well, yeah, you welcome everybody to the Letterman Podcast. You say who we're
Yeah.
going to be talking to, and then we'll finish that, and you say enjoy, and please enjoy part 2 of our conversation with Mark Malkoff. Talk about what Mark means to you. I don't know. She visited on your show. I feel like you could easily do an intro for this, and then the outro. This might be the part where you're fudging a little bit because you haven't seen the episode, but hey, wasn't that great? We love Mark, and finish that. But I think you are a professional enough that you could do this and do it very, very well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna
How
put
long has your Letterman podcast been on?
so 3 years,
Okay.
3.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 22. April of 22, and now
Okay.
we're past April of 25. So yeah, we're into the 4th year. So yeah, let's just go here. This is going to be great. Okay, so anytime you're ready, as soon as
Okay.
you speak, the screen will go back to you. And if you wouldn't mind, shoot me an intro for this week's episode of the Letterman Podcast, which is part 2 of Mark Malkoff.
Okay. Greetings. Welcome to the God, see, this is a bad idea.
It's a great idea.
And you're going to cut all that out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I muted myself. Okay, that was perfect. That was awesome.
Okay.
It was amazing. I'm gonna cut that out of this episode, so they will be seeing you and I talking and hearing talking now. But unless they go back and watch last week's episode, they will not see the intro. So this is a good reason to go and rewatch what we just cut out there. You could see that at the beginning of last week's episode. I love time travel, and now we are all in a time loop of some sort. We've just created the opportunity for a time loop, and now we're going to do one more.
Okay.
You're going to do the outro for the episode.
Hang on one
and-
second. Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay. Okay.
Hang on. Calm down.
Don't hang up. Oh my God. Oh, see again, an entire generation of people. That was our generation. Hey, don't hang up. Don't hang up. I just gotta go.
No, stay right there.
Don't. I gotta go. Don't hang up, man. Like seriously, like one generation of people who are 0 to 60 years old in the history of Earth understand what that is. Don't hang up.
Don't hang up. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, still
Are
here.
you ready?
Okay, hold that almost. Okay, so we're gonna shoot the outro, and if you wouldn't mind, Do a plug for the Letterman podcast as one sponsor. Oh, thank you. Okay, you're a pro.
What do you think I went?
I don't know.
That's what I was doing.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
Okay, are you ready?
That's not true. That's not true. I will you've got the gig. Congratulations. You've passed the test. Oh, that was yeah, that's right. Oh, this has been great. I'm so happy. That worked out so much better than I even thought it would. That's going to be great. Um,
You sure I
we're making
wasn't
a brand new
rambling too much? If I need to record it again, I will.
No, gosh, no. Oh, as if. No, 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 no,
Okay.
no. That's perfection.
Okay.
Perfection incarnate right there. No, I've been trying to think of little ways to start having some more fun with this thing now that my life is kind of getting back to a reasonable pace as opposed to unmanageable and insanity and all that
Right.
stuff.
Right.
I'm really trying to lean into the things that spark joy again, and things like that spark joy. We changed the outro to the show. The outro to the show still has the underpants logo, which, again, silly, but that's what we've used, so that's what we're going to continue to use. Um, but now we have Artie. Artie does the voiceover. Um,
Okay.
and as it was one of his clips from Coach's Corner, and he says "bang zoom" in the quote, and so to me, "bang zoom" is one of those things that there's no way "bang zoom" would be in my vocabulary were it not for Letterman and
Bang zoom.
yep and
Ooh. Take the Slauson, cut off, get out of your car, cut off your Slauson, get back in your car.
bang zoom.
Yeah.
Um, so we're doing little things like that, and I have other
Okay.
ideas of things that I'd like to do if who knows what happens with the show, but
We got to do
I've
the
got
top 10 list sometime.
you know what? It's funny. I did one. I've been doing stand up
Hmm.
and enjoying it. And there was a special night that they were doing a stand up show for a local pro wrestling group that
I
we have.
saw that. I watched that.
Did you see it? I did a top
Yeah.
10 list that night. I did a
Yeah.
top 10 list in the
I
yeah,
did.
and the club owner who I've been going out to the open mic nights for, he just kind of looked at me and he goes, "Why aren't you doing a top 10 list when you come out on the other nights?" I'm like, "Well, it's kind of too on the
Right.
nose, but
Right.
every
Right.
once
Right.
in a while doing one."
No, you got to
Um,
do the top 10 great things about the Letterman
I
podcast.
know. Oh, I know. And that's still there. That's still something I want to do. I'm actually calling
Get
to
Dick
me the
Cavett on
linchpin
it.
on that one is Dick Cavett. If Dick Cavett
Mhm.
does it, then all the rest are going to be really, really, really easy. But Cavett's the one. But I actually, I'm trying. I got to get a hold of him here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So in doing so, I will see if I can get him to record that line. It would be pretty great if we could. And that's the only, hint we'll give about what Darin is referring to there. It's a killer idea.
Yeah.
So we will do that special top 10
Oh,
list,
I
I'm
didn't
sure.
realize we were still like this is part of the podcast that's airing. I thought you and I were just shooting the shit. I was waiting for you to cut back into the thing. Oh,
No, no, no. No, this is all show.
oh, great.
Everything is usable when we hit the record button on the Zoom.
Everything is usable.
Oh, hey. Oh, I'm in a weird spot asking you this. Damn it.
Hey,
No, wait, when is this going to be out? No, it's not. It's going to be out.
you know better than I do.
Oh, no, it's pretty close. Okay. This episode will be coming out very, very close to the induction ceremonies at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes. Good.
Yes. Have you heard anything about that lately that's excited you?
I know that Letterman's going to be inducting Warren Zevon.
It seems that way, doesn't it? It certainly
Yes, it
seems that way.
does. And I'm wearing a Soundgarden shirt, but man, if I only knew somebody who could hook me up with a Warren Zevon shirt, then I could wear that.
You've had him on your show 4 times. That's Adam Unger.
Excuse me.
Adam Unger.
He hasn't been on my show, no.
Oh, Adam hasn't been. Oh, and Adam Nediff has been on your show.
Adam Nediff has been on my show.
Oh, you got to have Adam Unger. I mean, Adam Unger is like.
I'm not
oh.
opposed to having Adam Unger on the show.
Oh, you've been close?
Oh, we've chatted a little bit. I mean, we've been on your show a couple times together.
That's
And then
true. That's right.
We've
Adam
back
is
and
such a
forth
great guy.
on the Facebook Instant Messenger. I can't remember about what, but he's a good guy.
He's a good
He's
dude.
a really
and
good guy.
insanely
And
talented.
He's carrying the torch
Mhm.
of Warren Zevon. God love him for that. It's somebody needs to be carrying the torch of Soundgarden. I know
Yeah.
they are not redoing it, but they've got a bunch of songs in the vault that they're digging out and they're putting on an album.
Yep.
There's that. But I mean, with Chris Cornell gone, I'm sorry, but somebody needs to play a Soundgarden song at their show. They need to just divvy them up. Like you do
Yeah.
Outshine, we'll do Jesus Christ Pose, and we'll do Black Hole Sun, and that music needs to be kept alive.
I gotta tell you, like, it's such a hard needle to thread. Like
Mhm.
watching the LA Fire, a fundraising show, and they had as close to a Nirvana reunion as you'll ever get, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And it was cool. And I'll tell you this, I went and saw Linkin Park about a month ago, and it was a transcendent experience. It was one of the craziest experiences of my life. Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy moment. It was that night. But having Emily come and replace Chester was the
Hmm.
only way, and they threaded it beautifully. Like the new
Yeah.
Linkin Park album, not only does it sound like a Linkin Park album, it sounds every bit individual on its own. And listening to
Really.
Emily sing the Linkin Park standards, I
Hmm.
was blown away. Like
Okay.
it's one of the best live shows I've ever. I could start crying right now. It was so powerful.
Yeah.
It was so powerful. Um, and there we go. We have a replacement singer for somebody who seemed to be irreplaceable. Chester is one of those people who had a voice that was,
All right.
how do you replace it? Well, you bring in Emily and it's a completely different dimension, but at the
Hmm.
same time can hit the same dimensions that he did.
Yeah.
I don't know if Soundgarden could do that with Chris Cornell, but
No,
it would
no,
take
I don't
something
I
like
don't
that.
think so. But I mean, but it's just sad that I don't want the music of Soundgarden to slip away. I'd love for it to. Uh, I love Soundgarden. Ever told you the story of why I fell into Soundgarden?
Tell me.
So I knew who they were.
Yeah.
Okay, I had heard um, a handful of Soundgarden songs, but I
Yep.
wasn't big into them. I didn't know any of their music. I
Yep.
didn't have any of their shirts. I didn't, I just knew a couple of songs. I'm in a bar one night, and we're sitting there drinking some beer, and we overheard Johnny Cash doing Rusty Cage.
Yes.
And I said, Shannon, shut up. And he's like, what? And I'm like, is that Rusty Cage? Is that Johnny Cash doing
Yeah.
Rusty Cage? And he said,
So good.
oh my God, I think it is.
Yep.
Now, the same thing with Johnny Cash. I knew Ring of Fire and Folsom Prison Blues
Yep.
and Walk the Line. I probably knew those three Johnny Cash songs.
Yep.
Loved those songs. Always thought Johnny Cash was cool, but I wasn't big into Johnny Cash.
Right.
So I think it was the next day. I went and I found the CD that had him, Johnny Cash, doing uh, uh, what's the song that I said?
Rusty
Rusty Cage.
Cage.
Rusty Cage.
Yep.
And I listened to that CD 1,000 times.
Yep.
And then I went and I bought some Soundgarden music.
Yep.
And I got
That's
into
how you,
them.
oh my God.
I got into them simultaneously. And
That's
so
fantastic.
as I fell in love with really fell deep hard into Johnny Cash music, I did the same thing with Chris Cornell and the music of Soundgarden. And I was into Soundgarden, Audioslave, and then his solo albums. I
Yep.
saw Audioslave, or I saw
Soundgarden.
Soundgarden.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw Soundgarden at the Lollapalooza tour. They were there with Rage Against the Machine. Mind blown. Okay,
Okay, so that was the second time they were on the tour, right?
I
Because in
don't think so.
'92 they were with Pearl Jam.
Was it okay? I
So
think I saw him in. I think I saw him in maybe '96.
okay, so that
I
would have been
think.
so the first time this is how I got introduced to Soundgarden. I knew Pearl Jam because 10 had come out. And I'm a big Pearl Jam
What a
fan,
great
always have
album.
been. I was Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. So when '92 Lollapalooza '92 was announced, I was like, oh, because the Chili Peppers, but then Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Ministry, Ice Cube,
Hmm.
Lush, Jesus and Mary Chain. I forget the other ones, but those were okay. So, but I had heard that Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, both from Seattle, like Nirvana had blown up and all that stuff was happening, and Seattle's
Hmm.
pretty close to where I live, right? So that music scene was blowing up. That type of rock changing itself a little bit from sort of the glam stuff into more of the grungier. That
Hmm.
was all around me. Vancouver was like that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I had heard that Pearl Jam and Soundgarden had done uh, a collaboration together.
Yeah.
and that was the Temple of the Dog,
Temple of the Dog.
going, hunger strike and
Hunger
all that.
Strike.
And I mean, so at Lollapalooza '92, you have Eddie Vedder on stage doing Pearl Jam stuff, or maybe it was Chris Cornell and Soundgarden, and they're making fun of Pearl Jam. And in between, and then they come out and do Temple of the Dog stuff together, and you
Yeah.
realize, oh man, this is just something really, really,
The
really,
Ruse, yeah.
really
Yeah.
special. And I mean, Chris Cornell, I still to this day like going back and listening to stuff like Jesus Christ Pose or
Mhm.
I mean Black Hole Sun, of course,
Yeah.
some of these old, Blow Up the Outside World. But then you listen to the stuff that he was doing near the end. Like there's on Apple Music, there's a huge Chris Cornell compilation that you can just, get, and it's got, I don't know, 60 or 70 songs on it.
Yeah.
And he
Phenomenal.
does a version of Nothing Compares to You with his
I've got it.
daughter. And it is like I'm covered in goosebumps right now, just even thinking about his daughter singing that song with him, and they do the chorus together.
Well,
Or he
there's
does a version of Billie Jean by Michael Jackson.
yep.
It's
There's a
so
version
good.
of
Like,
One. He meshed the Metallica version of One with the U2 version of One.
yup,
He took U2's guitar riff, but sang Metallica's lyrics.
it's
One of the most amazing things you could ever hear.
it's so
Tying it
beautiful.
back in with Johnny Cash, a
Yep.
few years after Johnny Cash had passed away, they found all these lyrics that he had written. And so poems and stuff, and all these artists got together and recorded these songs that he wrote.
That's
And
so
it's called
beautiful.
Johnny Cash Songwriter.
Yep.
And Chris Cornell's on there. This is after Chris Cornell had passed away. They released it after Chris Cornell died.
Oh,
And there's a song, and you've got to listen to it. You Never Really Knew My Mind. And Johnny Cash wrote it, but it tells the story almost of what Chris was going through,
yeah.
right? And so for me, the Johnny Cash, Chris Cornell thing started and ended together. And I would
Yeah.
love to have like a 45 of Rusty Cage, Johnny
Yeah.
Cash's version of Rusty Cage on one side, Chris Cornell's version of You Really Never Really Knew My Mind on the B side. And those
It's
two,
coming soon with AI. You'll just be able to wish it in existence and it'll be there.
well, I mean, all you got to do is just, burn it onto a because they exist. But listen to that song; it's phenomenal. So
It's so special.
yes, Chris Cornell. I'm
I
so
love-
excited that he's finally getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I wish it wasn't posthumously.
Yeah.
I wish Warren wasn't involved or inducted posthumously. But hey, better late than never. And next year, Billy Idol. Next year's
There
going to
you
be
go.
Billy Idol. I wrote,
And again, the
write
rumor
this
has
down.
it that Dave, it hasn't been fully confirmed. It's funny when this whole thing ends. I'm going to be releasing a video that just, oh, it's frustrating to say the least. But a little cryptic. But a week after this episode airs, I will release that video, and people will understand what I'm saying. But it hasn't been confirmed that Dave is. It's been written about. Vulture wrote about it. LateNighter.com wrote about it. A couple other places wrote about it. About Dave being a presenter. He's listed as a presenter on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame site.
Yeah.
But they haven't confirmed who Dave is inducting, but I think we all know. I know it's ridiculous.
Wouldn't that be some shit if he comes up there and, ladies and gentlemen, I've been a fan of Salt and Pepper for 40 years.
Yes.
I like to
Yes.
push it real good. Paul, do you like to push it? I like to push it, David. Yeah.
Do you know Salt and Pepper once had a wardrobe malfunction on Late Show with David Letterman?
I believe I did hear about that.
Yeah, they had to reshoot their performance because I don't know, the salt or the pep got loose. I'm not sure
Well-
exactly what did, but
Oh, shit, my pepper got loose.
yeah, so shook out some pepper. You know what? And I've seen them on stage. I've actually danced with Salt and Pepper on stage live. It was crazy. If my money if one of them were to have a wardrobe malfunction, my money would be on Pep. That's what I
okay.
would be saying. That if I were to bet on it, I would bet. Talking about these worlds colliding and Warren Zevon, it was neat talking to Jordan on here a few months ago about. I'm worried about Willie Nelson, and I'll tell you why. I'm a big Nine Inch Nails fan, and back in the day when Johnny Cash released his version of "Hurt," which is of course a Nine Inch Nails song.
Trent Reznor said that it was no longer his song. It's
well,
now
and he
Johnny
has.
Cash song.
Although seeing Nine Inch Nails 3 months ago in concert, they finished the show with "Hurt," so they took it
Yeah.
back, I guess. But Johnny, the video. I mean, you watch the video for "Hurt" by Johnny Cash, and you're like, oh my God, this guy's not long for our world. And so this past year, Willie Nelson released a version of him singing "Keep Me in Your Heart" by Warren Zevon. And I'm like, oh God, Willie, why'd you do that? Like, I'm scared about Willie. I'm scared about losing Willie now because
yeah,
it's similar. I would put "Hurt" and "Keep Me in Your Heart" in a similar category
I agree.
of song, and it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful, but I can't listen to Warren Zevon singing "Keep Me in Your Heart"
It's hard.
without tearing up, and I haven't
Oh
been able
yeah,
to ever. I
yeah.
haven't ever not. It was in a movie. Oh, it was in Funny People. Adam Sandler, Judd Apatow's movie. It was in Seth Rogen, Adam
Okay.
Sandler. It was in that movie. Like I heard it in that movie, and I couldn't not tear up. And I'm
Yeah,
curious as to what the Hall of Fame ceremony is going to have in as a presentation.
yeah.
Um, Jordan. Hopefully, Jordan will be up there singing, as he says. He can do his dad like he does his dad very, very well. He can
He
imitate his dad.
does.
But it'd be
Yeah,
cool to have some of these interpretations that we're talking about here.
yeah.
It'd be neat to see that. On the covers album, Adam Sandler does Werewolves in London,
I love it.
and I think that's very funny. I
That was
love
the
I
Enjoy
love
Every
that.
Sandwich CD, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but and speaking of Adam Sandler, my next guest that's going to come out is going to be Dave and Adam Sandler, and I think that
I
is going to be a pretty neat. That's a cool one. A lot of
It
people
is
have been
going to be
saying
a
Steve
cool one.
Martin
Yeah,
and all this sort of stuff. That's great too, and I can see why they would say it. But to me, having Adam Sandler on, I believe that's hitting more my or our demographic because we
yes,
got to see Adam on Grow and show up on panel on both the late night and late show,
yeah.
and there's a lot of cool things there. I'm looking forward to that.
I remember Adam was on. I don't remember if it was late night or late show. It's probably late show.
Yeah.
But he said, the last time I was on your show, you said something that was kind of mean, and I didn't have a comeback. And after I left, I thought of a comeback, and so I'd like to do the comeback now." And Dave says, "Okay." So he looks at me, and goes, "Oh yeah," and that was the comeback. And I love that.
Me, in my mind,
He
Dave
thought
would
of
love
that
that too.
after he left.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah. Oh, that's good
Oh, and
stuff.
then one more thing.
Yeah.
The Triumph the Insult comic dog.
Yes.
Robert Schmeigel was in Chicago and dropped off the Triumph the Insult comic dog at the museum. I didn't get to see him do that, but I heard that he asked that Triumph be put on a newspaper with Jay Leno's face on it, but they didn't do it. That's what I've
What?
heard. That's what I heard. Now, since I said it on a podcast, it's true, but that's what I heard. Whoever, if that story is made up, I think it's brilliant.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like if somebody is like fleecing us by saying that,
Yeah.
it's so believable. Like
This is a
I
good
would accept
exhibit
that.
for me to poop on.
Oh, that's good.
Uh,
Oh, that's good times. Um, Thank you for coming back here, man.
hey, anytime.
I
Anytime.
know.
I've told you, I will be your Tony Randall anytime you want.
I know, I love that, and I appreciate it very, very much. Yeah, it's so much fun. The friendships that have come up through this. I've said from the very beginning, I thought that this is exactly what I would be getting from the show is the chance to kind of build community
Hmm.
of those of us who because it's there for bands, it's there for movies, it's there for all sorts of other things, but it just didn't seem to be there for Letterman. I mean, the AFL group has been around forever, but those guys, I mean, to me, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. I'm grateful they invited you and I to be part of it. But to me, like
Yeah.
those are the Dave Con people. Those are the people who, you know,
No.
it was a certain group. And so building the community and having people like connections like ours and other ones. Shout out to so many of the people who have reached out to me. Oh, I want to give a shout out to a special guy named JT. Um,
Hi, JT.
yeah, we'll say hi to JT. Just been there from the beginning. One of those people that was very, very patient with me from the start. Probably still is patient with me due to the obvious lack of skills. But at the same time stuck with us. I've got there's so many. JT's is the first one that comes to mind. But there's a lot of people who have reached out, and they know who you are. Some of them who have done it through anonymity, which I don't blame you for, to be perfectly frank. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who has thrown out some well wishes lately, and again, everybody, like we're not on the payroll of any sort. This book is that good.
Yeah.
My gosh, why can't he have a stand of these books in that museum Gosh, what a perfect companion piece for the people who go to the Broadcasting Museum. Maybe we should get Mark out there busking, selling some books out of the back of a pickup truck outside this thing.
Yep.
It's so good. I highly recommend it. I wish you've read it. I can't wait till you read it. I can't wait. You're gonna love it so much, Darin. Irritable Dad Syndrome can be found on all the places podcasts can be found, right? Or
That's
YouTube?
right.
Yeah, you put a YouTube version up, don't you?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Everywhere you get your podcasts, and our website is irritabledadsyndrome.com. And from the bottom of my heart, Mike, you have been a supporter and a fan since we first met. And I put so much work and effort into my podcast, as Mike Odell, my partner, does. Anything you see on the interwebs, any of our videos or whatever, Mike produced those. The audio version of the podcast, I do those. So we have split it down the middle, and he puts a ton of work into it, and I put a ton of work into it. And the only reason we do it is because we love it.
Yeah.
And if you guys, check us out and listen to us, I would appreciate it. But yeah, Mike, you have been a fan and a supporter of me forever, and that just I can't thank you enough for that.
Gosh,
really
it's so easy because the show is so good. I mean, it's so easy. So yeah, reach out, watch the 5-year anniversary, listen to the 5-year anniversary episode. If anything, it's for the Carl story, but everything else too. It's so good. It's so good. And Darin, thank you for being my friend. I appreciate this. This has been another episode of the Letterman Podcast with Mike Chisholm. Coincidentally, I am Mike Chisholm. Thank you and good night. Ha! Love it.
La la la.
They don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I don't talk to them. Bang, zoom.
All right.